Tonight on Gopher Football with Jerry Kill, get the latest from offensive coordinator Matt Limegrover.
Mitch and I think that entire group of young men, they had one or two choices to make, and they, you know, I think they went out there and they bowed up and said, hey, this one's going to be different.
And we put the spotlight on linebacker Aaron Hill.
D-backs, back to pass, plenty of time, passing ball tipped and picked off! Aaron Hill near sideline!
Plus, get an exclusive preview of Brick by Brick, an all-access behind-the-scenes web series about your Golden Gophers. And offensive coordinator Matt Limegrover talks about how the Gophers will be using their bye week.
Best way to sum it up is we get a snapshot each week of our self-scout. Now we're going to get a poster.
It's your weekly look inside Golden Gopher football, and it starts right now. Welcome to the latest edition of Gopher Football with Jerry Kill. It's your weekly look inside the Golden Gopher football program, and I'm your host, Natalie Nias. The Gophers are 4-2 on the season and heading into a bye week. The time off will be used to rest up, prepare for a trip to Northwestern, and to look back at lessons from the Big House. Last weekend, the Gophers fought hard but fell to the Michigan Wolverines. Mitch Leidner started at quarterback for the second time this season, and he delivered another impressive performance. To take us through all of Saturday's action, Mike Max joins offensive coordinator Matt Limegrover in the Hall of Fame room.
Thanks very much, Natalie. Joined by Matt Limegrover, offensive coordinator. Coach Kill, we gave the week off to. And we'll start with that, Coach, because, you know, obviously this becomes a storyline every time he doesn't coach. You knew a little bit ahead of time that this could be the case in Michigan last week. I don't know if that changes anything preparation-wise, because you guys have been through a number of different scenarios.
You know what? It doesn't change with regards to the to the preparation with the young men. We went through. We had our walkthroughs here at the complex. We flew out. We had our dinner. We had our meetings. We went through our walkthrough on Saturday morning. We kept that as normal as possible. The real change comes with us coaches, just getting together. Coach Clay's got us together as coaches Saturday morning when we knew Coach wasn't going to be able to arrive and make the trip and be at the game. And we just lined out whose responsibilities, who was responsible for what on game day, and down on the field, both Coach Clay's and I stayed in the box because that's where we feel most comfortable as coordinators. And it just made sure everybody was on the same page, talked about some situations that might come up. So that was probably the biggest adjustment, but we kept the routine for the players. It was exactly the same as if Coach would have been there.
Mitch Leidner got the start at quarterback. Philip Nelson still a little hampered by his hamstring injury. I don't know that, you know, he's 100% yet. He played a couple plays there when Mitch went out. Took you on an impressive drive after you turned it over and they scored, and you go, uh-oh, feels like the Michigan game again. And he took them back, and maybe the most impressive drive of the season.
You know what? In a lot of ways it was. We used up a ton of the play clock. All of a sudden, you know, we looked up and the first quarter's about over, you know, after we had taken it down and scored. And, you know, the big thing was that Mitch could have gone one of two directions there. You know, he fumbled that ball.
That was one fragile point in the game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And we talked to the kids about when you're going against 100, you know, going into a stadium with 110,000 people and you're playing a team with the history of Michigan and what they bring to the table, you're going to have to weather the storm. And we made that storm a little tougher than it needed to be because it was homecoming. They had, you know, they wanted to get out there. They were coming off an off week, and then to fumble that and put our defense in a bind, you know, within the first 2 or 3 minutes of the ball game. You know, Mitch and I think that entire group of young men, they had one or two choices to make, and they, you know, I think they went out there and they bowed up and said, hey, this one's going to be different. And so that drive really kind of tipped that thing. And we talked to them all week about, you know, let's shorten this game down. You know, let's take possessions away from them. Let's maximize our possessions. And I felt like a 9+ minute drive there right after they had scored kind of evened that out a little bit and kind of put that thing back on an even keel.
The capper was, of course, a Max Williams touchdown pass. Now, you don't have to watch him long to figure out this kid's got something special to him. I mean, he does things that not everybody can do.
No, and that's the thing. I'll be honest with you. The point in the I think it was early in the fourth quarter, we threw a wheel route on the sideline to him that he missed, And up from the press box, when I saw the ball go to him, I just assumed he was going to catch it. I was ready to make a first down call. I was actually surprised, even with a guy draped all over him, that he didn't make that catch. That's the kind of athlete he is. He's very special, and one of the things we wanted to do this week was find ways to get him the football in different situations, i.e. for the touchdown, splitting him out and getting him locked up on a on a linebacker with a safety over the top, and then he was able to beat that linebacker for the touchdown. And so it was kind of interesting if you looked at it from the other perspective, what Michigan did with their tight end, their athletic tight end, splitting them out some and giving him more opportunity.
He's good too, by the way.
He's pretty good, and I thought they did a nice job of that was something our defense hadn't seen, and and that's a mismatch. Just like we're working to get Max in positions to be a mismatch on either linebackers or safeties as well.
You haven't run the football as well as you would like in the Big Ten. Tell me about that. You've got Cobb, you've got Williams. Your statistics aren't bad overall cumulatively, but the last couple of weeks it hasn't been what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, we really struggled against Iowa. They play heavy is the best way to put it. They get people right up. They don't play edges. They don't play gaps. They're going to play through people. And that makes it tough to run inside. And I think we made a tactical error of not having the ability to get outside on a team like Iowa more. So that came back to hurt us. But last week there were some glimmers of hope. There were some things that we did. Third down, we're able to get the ball several times and be able to convert third and shorts.
When you just lined it up.
Yep, and I tell you, having a guy at quarterback who provides that fear factor that he's going to pull that ball on the zone read play that we run and those things, that also helps loosen up a defense. We didn't run it as well as we'd hoped, but we definitely ran it better than we had against Iowa, and there's some things after reviewing the film we're excited to build upon. We feel like we can move forward, and there's definitely things in there that'll swing that pendulum back in our favor in the run game.
When we return, Mike Max will join Coach Limegrover in the film room to break down the top Gopher plays from Saturday.
The corner got a little confused because we brought the receiver right back under, so he had to confirm that the safety was over there because they didn't want to cut Derek Engel loose either.
And still to come, an exclusive preview of Brick by Brick, an all-access behind-the-scenes web series about your Golden Gophers.